Hey sippers, it's Kim, the CEO and founder of NOLA Event Planners and the creator of Sip Happens with Kim. Before we get started, make sure to turn on your notifications and subscribe so you can stay up to date on Sip Happens with Kim. 4 things you need to do before you say I do. Now let's get into it. 1, do your research. 2, set a budget. 3, be realistic with your expectations. And 4, consult with a wedding planner. Now let's break down each category. So number 1 is do your research. What type of wedding do you want? That's one of the first things you need to decide. Are you going to do a small intimate wedding? Are you going to do a destination wedding? Are you going to do a church and venue wedding or an outside wedding? So that's the first thing you need to determine. 2, who's going to pay for this wedding? Is it you? Are you going to get help from your family and friends? So that's the next thing, because that will determine the type of wedding you're going to have, where you're going for the wedding, who's going to pay for what it's going to look like, what it's going to smell like, what it's going to taste like. Those are things I always tell my clients to make sure your wedding touches all the senses. So it's very important to, 1, know who's paying for it and what type of wedding you want. But number 3, under doing your research, make sure you know the time of year you're getting married. You want to make sure there's no festivals or any special events going on in town that may hinder or raise the cost of your budget. Number 3, what time of year? In winter, summer, fall, spring? That will vary in the price of your travel, your venue costs, your guests coming in attendance. So make sure you know what time of year. You also want to know dates to avoid. Is it a holiday? Is it a busy time of year? Are they having Super Bowl in your town? All of that will go into you making the decision about choosing a date and planning your wedding. All of that is a part of research. So make sure you do your research. Tip number 2, set a budget. Who's paying for it? That's one of the big questions. Are you paying for it by yourself? Or are you getting help from family and friends? Are you borrowing money to pay for the wedding? I have clients ask me all the time, how much does a wedding cost? I don't know what my wedding budget should be. How much am I supposed to save? Is my budget enough? Well, that's why it's important to do your research, because when you do your research, you will find out a lot of things when you start calling venues, calling churches, calling other types of outdoor facilities. You'll find out what that cost is. Your budget can be modified as you go along, but make sure you're subscribed, because we do break down what a wedding budget should have and how much it should be for each category. Also, under creating a budget, how much disposable income do you have? Can you afford monthly extra money toward paying for a venue and all the things that go into the cost of a wedding? If that is a no, then you know you have to be very conservative with your wedding budget. So again, make sure that you do your research and set a budget. Number 3, be realistic with your expectations. What that means is set your negotiables and non-negotiables. For example, do you want to have a destination wedding? Do you want to have an outdoor wedding? Or I must have a dance floor. I must have fresh flowers. I must have a live band versus a DJ. All of those things need to be decided. So you make a list of things that you must have and things that you can live without. It's okay, it's compromise. So make sure that you put down a list of your negotiables and non-negotiables. Compromise. Under being realistic with your expectations is compromise. Even if you have an unlimited budget, you still need to compromise. So have an open-minded. We're adults, right? It's okay to be a little bit of a bridezilla or groomzilla, but you still have to compromise, even if it doesn't affect your budget. You may say, I don't want to compromise. I don't have a budget. My budget is unlimited, and that's great. But everyone will have to compromise and bend in the wedding planning process. You may pick this wedding that you've dreamed about for years and decide that they do not allow you to put down a dance floor, or they do not allow you to put up lighting, or they don't allow fireworks and sparklers at the end of the night. So you need to make sure that you're open-minded about the wedding planning process. You will have to compromise. Whether it's an unlimited budget or not, some things may not be available for that time of year. It's just what it is. So be open-minded, and compromise. Number 4, last but definitely not least, that is consult with a wedding planner. Now, you may say, why? I don't think I can afford a wedding planner. Or, I'm a DIY bride. I can do it myself. I don't need a planner. I'm savvy. I can do this. That's fine and perfect. You probably can do it yourself. However, there are times when consulting with someone will give you more advice and tell you about things or walk you through the process about things that you just didn't think about. You can consult with a wedding planner, regardless if you think you can afford it or not. And here's why. I've had countless couples come to me and say, I really thought I could do my own wedding myself. And they started the planning process and realized that it was extremely overwhelming, even for couples who are very savvy about planning. One of the other things you can do too, like for instance, I'll have clients consult with me and say, look, I'm doing a destination wedding. I'm coming to your city, New Orleans. And I really just need help navigating. I need you to help me vet vendors or help me walk through the process. Is this a good idea? Here's my budget. Is that realistic? So consulting with a wedding planner, whether you decide to hire them or not, may be a good idea. It's no different than consulting with an attorney or consulting with a health fitness person or a nutritionist or a real estate agent. It doesn't hurt to make the phone call. Some event planners charge a nominal fee and some are free. But it doesn't hurt to reach out and consult with them so you can make sure you're making the best decisions for your wedding day. You don't know if you can afford a planner until you do it. So make sure you consult with a wedding planner. So again, those 4 tips are really, really easy and everyone should do before they say I do. And number 1, just to recap, do your research. Number 2, set a budget. Number 3, be realistic with your expectations. And number 4, consult with a wedding planner. If you follow those 4 easy tips before you do any booking or sign any contracts, I promise you, you won't make a whole lot of mistakes. If you've enjoyed those wedding tips, visit us at www.nolaeventplanners.com and book a wedding consult today, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and get updates on wedding planning tips. Make sure also to visit our website and join our mailing list so you could be the first to know about any announcements, special events, any new arrivals, exclusive offers, and giveaways and more. So next time, make sure to pour your favorite drink, sip, and get these wedding tips. See you later, sippers.
Subscribe, follow, like, save, and share with us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next time, sippers.